This is the clip on how to write chapter 2 of the 6-chapter format on review of literature and related research. Okay. So in this clip, we'll talk about the component of chapter 2 and how should we write the detail of the review of literature in each topic. Okay. And the first one, of course, this chapter must be divided into two parts. First, part 1 should be review of literature, and each part should contain two versions. First version is domestic version. That means you review literature in China or in Thailand. And then the second version would be review of literature in international arena. But you have to be fair not to concentrate in one country only. Mostly in Thailand, Thai educators who during the past 100 years mostly get education in the United States of America. So they tend to think that American educators or scientists are the best. But I would recommend you to also review literature of educators, specialists in other countries. The second part will be review of related literature. This is, you should not only concentrate on the work of research in the UK or in Europe or in the United States, but should spread about in order for you to have broad-mindedness, you see, in what you are writing. The issue that I would like to advise you when you write chapter 2 is to what to cover, what you should cover. Okay. What you should do is that there are 5 items that I would like you to pay your attention. First, you should present the review of literature in the very initial state. We call it to conduct documentary research. In many universities, when I was a project director, I encouraged the student to write the DR. DR is the documentary research. You see, what is documentary research? I think it needs another video clip of its own. What to tell you is that in your area of study, in arts or in music or in administration, usually you may not know what is truly your interest in your mind. So the best way for us to suggest you is to go to review the scope of educational administration or the scope of art management and write a report on documentary research. Okay, I will give you another clip on how to conduct documentary research later on. Okay. This is number one, that you should start with writing documentary research. Okay. Second, you should select the keywords from your dissertation titles. Remember, in one of the clips we talk about source is subject or object, is setting and effects. You see, the four are the main keywords that you have to give a thorough study on each of them. So select the keywords. Now, when you write your research conception framework, there might be some other terms come up, and you will need also review those words as well. Okay. Number three will be, you have to write it in very precise manner, very short, very clear. Okay. You have to write your own words, not just to copy and paste it up. You see, in Thai we call copy. You know how to do it, right? Control C, and then you put your cursor somewhere and Control V. That's to paste what you have copied in there. Never do that. If you need to do that, you have to give reference. You see. So you have to write your review of literature or review of your research, related research, in very precise manner, in your own words. Now, you see, nowadays they have many programs that check the similarity of your work and others. The most famous one and known internationally is Turnitin. That program, you have to pay a lot of money. But in Thailand, we have one initiated by Chulalongkorn University. We call Akhara Visud. Akhara Visud cover both Thai language and English. So your work, after you have finished your dissertation, your copy with the file will need to put in or put through the Akhara Visud. Akhara Visud meaning the purity of written text, you see. And you will be allowed to have your work similar to other people, not more than 20 or 25%. This is up to your advisor also. We want to make sure that you will not copy text from any other sources without giving proper references. Okay. That's number three. Now, number four, for each of the keyword, you have to take it as the subchapter. Subchapter are the main topics in the chapter. Okay. When you take it as a subchapter, you usually put in the middle of the page. That's it. Remember that. Put in the middle of the page, and then start the number from 1, 2, 3, 4 again. Okay. The topics of that subchapter of your keywords will need to be numbered, and there will be the regulation for giving a number of systems. Usually we allow the numbering system in terms of number and dot. For example, chapter 2, the first subtopic or subchapter will be 2.1. Okay, 2.1. And from 2.1, this heading main topic will be divided into subtopics. So it will come 2.1.1. But we give only 3. You see, 2.1.1. But sometimes they allow up to 4 because we lose one. Number 2, because 2 is the number of the chapter. So we allow 4 the most. And after then, we use bracket, 1 bracket, 2 bracket. Subheading of 1 bracket, 2 bracket will be bracket. We call it in bracket 1 and bracket. Something like that, as you see in the sample at your right left hand side. Okay. Now, for each of the topic, when you write your explanation of each topic, remember that the first paragraph must be left justified. You don't indent it. Okay. But paragraph number 2, number 3, number 4 need to be indented. But paragraph number 1, which will be main idea, or we call the statement of concept, comprising keywords 3 or 4. Okay. And you make use of each keyword to be subtopics in that particular heading. Okay. Number 5, you need to set up the heading, the subheading of the keywords to cover at least 5 or 6 ideas or main ideas. Okay, 5 or 6 subtopics. First, you have to write the synopsis of that keyword. The synopsis means the brief description to cover meaning, a definition, development or history of that word, and importance or significance. We have discussed 4 guidelines. Let me go through it again briefly. First, guideline number 1, you should conduct documentary research, and then from the analysis or the outcome of the DR, you bring the content, the concept, everything to put in your chapter 2. This is number 1, guideline number 1. And guideline number 2, you should present the keywords from the title of your dissertation and also from other terms appearing on your research conception framework. Okay. And guideline number 3, you should write everything by your own words. Never copy from any other people and paste on your chapter 2. In that case, if you need to do it in the style we call a quotation, you have to put in the proper method. There are two ways, with the in the quotation marks, see, or in the block form. I show you. You will see it at your left. Okay. Guideline number 4. For each of the keywords, we take it as the subchapter. So that keywords need to be in the middle of the page. Guideline number 5. For each of the subtopics, they should contain 6 elements, 6 components. First, there need to be main idea, concepts, or you may call it synopsis. Okay. Second, forms and types or formats and types of the thing you are talking about. If you talk about birds, there will be the types of birds or something like that. Okay. Number 3, procedures or steps and methods, methodology or approaches. That's number 3. Number 4, good point first. Good point and weak point, or advantages and disadvantages. Okay. Number 5, impacts on education, on teaching and learning, impacts on everything involved with you. It depends on your field, you see. Impacts on teaching arts, impact on teaching music, so on and so forth. Okay. And number 6, the most important thing also, problems, obstacles, and solutions. Okay. If you present each of the subheading of the subchapter comprising these 4 topics. Topic number 1, synopsis. Number 2, forms and types. Number 5, procedure, steps and approaches. Number 4, weak point, good point, weak point, or advantages and disadvantages. Number 5, impacts to education and teaching and learning. And 6, problems, obstacles or barriers, you can say that, and solutions. Okay. So this is the important guidelines for you to write chapter 2. Now, usually, we allow you to put illustration in chapter 2, but you have to give the number. You have to say figure 2.1 because it belongs to chapter 2. Figure or FIG and stop. But I would recommend you to figure 2.1 and then you describe it. Okay. And then after then the line below it you have to say source of that picture or photograph or drawing, whatever it is, unless you do it yourself. If you take photograph by yourself or if you do the drawing by yourself, you have to give the source. This is very important because if you don't do it, it means you are liable for stealing academic work from the people, which is a very serious academic crime in higher education. You see, plagiarism. Okay. So in each chapter, let me give emphasis. If you need to have some illustration, begin the number of each illustration using the same word figure. 1.1 belonging to chapter 1. Figure 2.1 belonging to chapter 2. Figure or table 3.1 belonging to chapter 3. Table 4.1 belonging to chapter 4, data analysis. And chapter 5 will be research finding, which you present your innovative prototype. And then the last chapter, chapter 6, will be the paper, conclusion, discussion, and recommendation, which you have to write it in a manner that it will be ready for you to publish in research journal. You see that we'll talk about that later on. So, in conclusion for this video clip, we talk about how to present your study of various keywords in review of literature, and also present the findings of related research by dividing them into two sub-chapters. One, review of literature, and second, review of related research. Now for each chapter, there will be two versions, or two parts, you may say that also. Part 1, domestic work, review of literature in Thailand, in China. Second, review of literature in international fields. Okay. And on subchapter 2, review of related literature is also the same. You divide into review of literature in Thailand and in international arena. Then I talk about the guidelines for you to write it. I presented 5 guidelines, which I made it really clear. So thank you for watching this video clip. Thank you so much, and see you again. 再见，谢谢你，Bye.